Did you know that by the time your child blows out the 4 candles on their birthday cake, their brain has already reached 90% of its adult size? 90%. Most parents think the real parenting, the discipline, the character building, the hard conversations, starts when the child is old enough to talk back. But that is the biggest mistake you can make. If you are waiting until age 4 to get serious, you've already missed the most critical window of human development. Today, we are diving deep into why the first 3 years are not just about survival. They are about architecture. We're sharing 11 essential lessons that will reshape how you see your toddler and how you build a human being from the ground up. I see it all the time in cities like New York or Los Angeles. High-achieving parents who are hyper-focused on which preschool their kid gets into at age 4, but they're completely missing the emotional boat during years 1, 2, and 3. There's this common myth that babies and toddlers don't remember what happens to them. People say, "Oh, they're just a baby. They won't know if I'm stressed or if I'm not present." This is fundamentally scientifically wrong. While they might not have explicit memories, like remembering what they had for lunch on a Tuesday in Chicago 3 years ago, their nervous system has an implicit memory. Their body remembers how safe they felt. Their brain remembers if their cries were answered. When we treat the first 3 years as a waiting room for real life, we fail to realize that the foundation of their entire psychological house is being poured right now. If the foundation is cracked, it doesn't matter how beautiful the house looks at age 10. Let's look at the hard data because this is where it gets fascinating. Researchers at Harvard Center on the Developing Child have found that in the first few years of life, more than 1 million new neural connections are formed every single second. 1 million. This process is driven by something called serve and return. Imagine a tennis match. The baby serves by babbling, making a face, or crying, and the parent returns the ball by responding with a smile, a touch, or a word. When that return doesn't happen, or when it's inconsistent or harsh, the brain's architecture doesn't form correctly. A landmark study followed children from different socioeconomic backgrounds and found that by age 3, children who experienced high-quality serve and return interactions had significantly larger vocabularies and higher IQs than those who didn't. But it's not just about being smart. It's about the stress response system. If a child doesn't feel safe and connected before age 4, their amygdala, the brain's alarm system, becomes overactive. They grow up in a state of high alert, which leads to behavioral issues that parents then try to fix with discipline at age 5 or 6. But the fix needed to happen in the connection during year 2. To help you navigate this, I've developed the P.I.L.L.A.R.S framework. It stands for presence, intentionality, language, limits, attachment, regulation, and safety. Let's break down the first few lessons within this framework. Lesson 1 is that co-regulation must come before self-regulation. We often yell at a 3-year-old, "Calm down!" But a 3-year-old's brain literally does not have the hardware to calm itself down yet. They need to borrow your calm. Think of it like a Wi-Fi signal. If you are frustrated and searching for a signal, your child's brain syncs to your chaos. Lesson 2 is about the power of the pause. In the heat of a tantrum in a crowded mall in Houston, instead of reacting, you pause for 3 seconds. That pause allows your prefrontal cortex to stay online, so you can respond to the need, not the behavior. Let's get into the 11 essential lessons. Lesson 3. Discipline is teaching, not punishing. The word discipline comes from the Latin discipulus, meaning learner. If you are punishing a 2-year-old for hitting, you aren't teaching them how to handle frustration. You're teaching them to fear you. Lesson 4. Play is the work of the child. When your toddler is dumping water out of the tub, they aren't being bad. They are little scientists testing gravity and volume. If you stop the play, you stop the learning. Lesson 5. Emotional vocabulary is a superpower. Start naming their feelings before they can even speak. You are feeling frustrated because the block fell. This builds the neural pathways they'll need at age 4 to say, "I'm mad," instead of biting someone. Lesson 6. Boundaries are an act of love. This is a big one. Many parents think being gentle means having no rules. No, a child without boundaries feels unsafe. Imagine driving a car across the Golden Gate Bridge in a thick fog. But there are no guardrails. You'd be terrified. Boundaries are the guardrails that allow a child to explore safely. Lesson 7. Your child is your mirror. If you want a child who doesn't scream, you have to stop screaming at them. Their mirror neurons are firing every time they look at you. Lesson 8. The terrible twos are actually the terrific transitions. It's the first time they realize they are a separate person from you. It's a milestone of autonomy, not a character flaw. Lesson 9. Attachment is not the same as spoiled. You cannot spoil a baby by holding them too much. Secure attachment is the launchpad for independence. Lesson 10. Screen time is a biological off switch. Before age 3, screens can interfere with the development of the social brain. They need human faces, not pixels. And finally, Lesson 11. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Parental self-care isn't a luxury, it's a neurological necessity for your child. If you are burnt out, you cannot provide the return in the serve and return relationship. Now, let's look at a timeline for implementation. In year 1, your goal is rooting. This is all about sensory input, skin-to-skin contact, singing, and responding to every cry. You are teaching their nervous system that the world is a safe place. In year 2, we move to exploration. This is when the know phase starts. Your job is to be the secure base. They run away to explore, then they look back to see if you're still there. If you're on your phone, that connection breaks. In year 3, we hit identity. This is where the big emotions live. This is the year of the why questions. Every why is an invitation to connect. If you dismiss them, you're telling them their curiosity doesn't matter. By the time they hit age 4, if you followed this roadmap, you won't be fixing a broken child. You'll be guiding a flourishing one. But what happens when it goes wrong? Let's talk troubleshooting. Every parent hits a wall. Maybe you're in a grocery store in Miami and your 2.5-year-old is doing a full-body meltdown because you wouldn't buy the sugary cereal. The old way is to get embarrassed, yell, or bribe them. The new way, the brain-based way, is to recognize that they are in a downstairs brain state. Their logical upstairs brain has literally left the building. You can't reason with a person who isn't there. Step 1. Get low. Physically get below their eye level. This signals safety to their primitive brain. Step 2. Validate. You really wanted that cereal. It looks delicious. You aren't giving in, you're acknowledging their reality. Step 3. Hold the boundary. We aren't buying it today, but we can have oatmeal at home. For those who want to go even deeper, let's talk about intergenerational rewiring. Most of us were raised with do as I say, not as I do. We were raised with shame as a tool for compliance. Breaking that cycle is the hardest work you will ever do. It requires you to look at your own triggers. When your child screams, why does it make you feel like you're losing control? Usually, it's because your own inner child was punished for screaming. Advanced parenting is about healing yourself so you don't pass your trauma down to the next generation. It's about moving from authoritarian, control, to authoritative, connection plus structure. To wrap this up, remember that the big parenting mistake is thinking you have time. You think, I'll start being a better parent when they can understand me. But they understand you with their heart and their skin long before they understand you with their ears. The first 3 years are the blueprint. If you focus on safety, attachment, and emotional presence now, age 4, 5, and 16 will be so much easier. You are building a brain. You are building a soul. Here is your action step for today. Next time your child does something that frustrates you, before you speak, take one deep breath and ask yourself, what is the need behind this behavior? Is it hunger, tiredness, or just a need for connection? Try it just once today. I promise you'll see a difference. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with one parent who is currently in the toddler trenches. We're all in this together. In our next episode, we're going to talk about the 5-minute connection habit that can transform your relationship with your child in less time than it takes to make coffee. I'll see you then. Goodbye for now. And just one more thing. If you're listening to this and feeling guilty because your child is already 3 or 4, don't. The brain is plastic. It can always change. It's never too late to start building that connection. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. You've got this.